moment I wanted to go into medicine, I think, was when I was a senior in high school. Before that, I did not want to go into medicine. I wanted to be actually a professional basketball player, I think, when I was in 8th grade. That's what I was going to do. But as time went on, I realized, well, you're not going to do that. The reason I chose family medicine, I do enjoy the breadth of medicine, the things we see, but also I felt it was the specialty I could do the most good for the most people. And I've remained on the front lines of medicine my entire career trying to do just that.
I have been a patient of Dr. Diller's for about 33 years.
I've been a patient for 34 years.
I've been a patient of Dr. Diller's for about 35 years.
Dr. Diller has been my family doctor for over 30 years.
In 2002, my internist moved out of state, and that's when I came to Dr. Diller. I have, however, known him since he came to Fremont, Ohio. I was a registered nurse working in OB, and when he started having obstetric patients, it was clear to me early on that he was special.
What makes Dr. Diller an outstanding family physician is the fact that he truly does care about his patients.
You feel very comfortable when you walk into his office. I know in today's medicine it's about getting people in and out, but he doesn't make you feel that way.
Well, he really cares. And so when he talks to you, you realize that it's like talking to a best friend.
He is a man of great integrity. He's a man of strong morals, strong value, honest, loyal, compassionate. He's the whole package.
He takes the art and science of medicine and he practices them to a level that few get to.
Dr. Diller really takes the time to sit down and talk to his patients, so he really does want to know the patient as a person. And he really does, I think, care about not only their physical health, but what's happening emotionally, and how things are going as far as the rest of their lives, which I think is very, very refreshing.
My favorite part about being a family physician is interacting with patients and hopefully trying to help them to maintain health and get better. A lot of the discussions you have with patients aren't about medicine. It's what's happening in their life. It's just more than just taking care of their medical problems. It's them as a person and what's happening in their life. Those are my probably biggest things that I enjoy.
I think my husband is so special because of the compassion and the integrity that he has as an individual, and he brings that to his practice. He has for 35 years put his patients first.
My dad was very ill and went to the hospital, had a horrible test come out that my dad needed transferred to a tertiary care center. Dr. Diller needed to let me know the critical illness of my father and got in his car and drove to the hospital where I was working in labor and delivery and personally sought me out and talked to me about my father. That just shows the kind of man, compassion, and awesome physician that he is.
Well, approximately, I believe it was 11 years ago, my father-in-law was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and he explained to them that he probably had 9 months to live. And he cried with the family. He was so sincere. He meant so much to him. He showed what kind of a person he was, that he was human and he truly cared about people.
When I was in the hospital, I had pneumonia. And here he is, he comes to the hospital at 7 o'clock at night to just see how I was doing during the day. I mean, how many other doctors do that? He's just totally devoted to his profession. It's great to meet people like that that have such passion for their profession, and he does.
Thinking back, this was back in the 80s when I was first here. I was in the hospital, it was Friday night, I remember, and I had a patient who was dying up in the intensive care unit from lung cancer. So we were providing care and comfort measures, and the family was there, and pretty emotional time. I also had a patient in labor. The patient finally, she expired, and there was, tears of sobs. And then I just walked probably 30 yards down the hall to the obstetrical unit and delivered a baby, and hear the joys of that. And I thought, oh, this is family practice. This is what it's supposed to be. And then I think, well, this is what my father was experiencing when he was, out in practice himself. I was the only person there in the hospital, and I said, this is it. This is the crux of family practice.
John knew from a very young age that he wanted to be a family physician. He did not get into medical school his very first application, but he persevered. His next application, he did get into medical school. And I think his patients are grateful that he persevered.
When I think of a family physician, the ideal family physician, I think of Dr. Diller. He knows his patients, he's caring, he's reasonable, he pays attention to detail, he listens. He goes out of his way to help people. He leads by example. He knows what to do, and just as importantly, he does it. And in a word, he's a good man, and he's a credit to his profession. And I would love to know how many generations he has touched with his medical care.
My name is Dr. Jonathan Diller. Thank God I'm a family physician.